This is just like a Comic-Con a couple years ago. This was me getting prepped for it. Poured all these characters. There's a whole bunch of them. And that one, so the stuff on the bottom left is actually guts. There's a skull, hamburger, and some innards. I think I have one or two in the show. Yeah, there he is right there. So I kind of, his name's Burger Bun, so I was like, what kind of guts does he have? So I gave him a hamburger for guts, kind of thing. And this was about 2 months ago. I was getting ready, and this is what my basement factory looks like. That's basically 8 molds going at once. So
that's a smell?
It has a little bit of a sweet smell. Basically, you can wear a vapor kind of mask, because it doesn't, what the vapors, they actually, like when you look at the pamphlets, they're like, well, this isn't harmful, but you're kind of like, yeah, right, you know? So my basement, I have like a little exhaust system going, and then I wear a mask. But supposedly it's okay for you. This is basically I use clear resin, and so you add pigments to it, and this one I was kind of playing around, I added like some red pigment, kind of getting a drippy effect inside. And then one technique that I kind of taught myself was like molds. When you use a silicone mold, is they don't last very long. You get about 20 to 30 guys out of it, and I kind of was like, I'm kind of cheap, so I was like, that's bullshit, you know? So I started using release agent, which is Vaseline. So after I make all my guys, I wash them in the sink with this bleach Clorox kind of stuff, because then I clean off the release agent. So it kind of like makes my molds last longer, kind of thing. Otherwise, I remake them a lot too. So basically, one of my characters, Burger Buns, I remade him like 5 times, kind of thing. So it's kind of like it's not supposed to be made for mass-produced silicone really, but I'm kind of doing it that way, sort of. And then this is just some paint apps. Mess around with clear and painting. And minor reference on that one. And this is my character Burger Buns has burger guts. I gave this guy hot dog butts, so he kind of has like a little hot dog in there. And this is just some paint apps of them. Basically, my world of characters is based around 2 bands, Zoo and the band Misty Fog, so I kind of loosely base around that. And that's this show. The dudes. There's one in the front with the striped shirt. I don't know if you guys know Koji Harmon. He does Comet Debris. He did that guy in the front with the striped shirt. Kind of really good customizer of vinyl. And this was like a little kit. So basically when I do my figures, I actually added by making a cloth bag for each one. And I put Goku prints on them sometimes. So this is kind of like the header card, a button, bag that goes with it. And that's kind of like one of my characters when it came out. That's what it actually, if you bought one of my characters, that's what it looks like. It comes like a header card, a bag. That was me and Koji's collab we did together. The guy I was just telling you about. So he painted some of them, I painted some of them, we kind of did it together. And this is just a quick tour of my studio. So that's my painting table. I use a cell vinyl to mostly paint with, which is like a really opaque liquid. But I also use acrylic and stuff. So there's some Gargamel toys, and those are my molds. And that pan with the glove on is basically what the sculptor guy put in that pan, put in the oven. That's what I bake them all on. This is some inspiration. Little eraser figures, big fan. That's my desk. Dahara, Gargamel, Pete Fowler. There's my Pachi slow machine, just like theirs. And then there's my little toy collection. A lot of Gargamel, Dahara, that kind of stuff. Then on the top left is kind of like my original sculpts, and then I also kind of, sometimes if I know I'm going to make a lot of a character, I'll take my first resin and kind of sand the crap out of it and make that my original from now on, because the Sculpey over time cracks and stuff. So sometimes I'll make an original out of the resin one, and that would be the one I make a mold from. So another inspiration, Mad Barbarians, Martin's take on Huska, Cupco in the background, sketchbooks. Oh, that was kind of my inspiration for my last show. Was I did a show on my character Vanfire. I was kind of doing a John and Yoko. It's called Vanfire and Boko. So I kind of did that. And then this are people that visited my studio. It's Buana Spoons. had a character killer that he went doing resin, so we live in the same city, we're good friends, so he came over and I was teaching him how to do mold making, and he sort of knew how to do it but didn't remember, and so I was kind of showing him the way I do it. So this is him cleaning it up. It's really sloppy, didn't want to clean up the blue clay off of it, and I had to teach him, it's going to be better, seriously, clean it good, clean it good. This is actually his last character. He made this huge robot, and I kind of said, dude, you weren't supposed to make it that big, it's too big, that's not going to work for this process, but we went ahead and did it anyway. But when we poured them, we had to, we put a bunch of BBs in them and stuff because it was too big. But that, if you talk to him, that character kind of like a sore spot, so it didn't work out so well. And then this is Kyoka. He is the master sculptor behind Gargamel. He owns Gargamel. If anyone collects Secret Base or any of that kind of stuff, he was pretty much sculpted all that early stuff. So he visited my studio just like about a month ago, and that's him sculpting a little secret project. And that's him fine tuning. And also what blew my mind about this is like having a master sculptor in your studio. His tools, he took this little piece of wood that I had and he whittled it and made a perfect little tool out of it. That blew my mind. And then this is his brother, which actually works for Gargamel also, and he's the one that pretty much will make all the molds for the originals before they go to the factory. So this is him playing around with the mold I made for those guys that I showed earlier. That's him with my dog, Yoshi. And then this was a quick going from, okay, I do resin, I do it myself, to like, oh, I'm going to have a toy made. Super 7 is making a toy of my Hollis character. So this was just basically taking the next step from doing this to like actually getting it made in the factory. And these were just turnarounds I made of it. And that, when you, Buff probably knows this, when you do the quarter turn is the hardest thing to draw. Like these, that's not hard front, side, back, but when they want you to make a quarter turn, you're visualizing in your head, you're like, how, okay, turn it, it's really hard.
I've never been asked to do a quarter.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It was really hard. Wow, you're lucky then.
I just do front, back, side, top, bottom.
Yeah. Well, I've never done top and bottom, so that's good. This was basically the sculptor in Japan. This is what he sent back, which was pretty good. You know, and you put little comments on it. The eyes are too inset, kind of the pants should look more pants, that kind of thing. And that's what the prototype looks like. They showed that at the last Comic-Con. But the toy, with any toy, everyone has a toy, so it hasn't come out yet. So it's like the typical story of like, oh, this toy was supposed to come out 6 months ago. So, I think that's it. Yep, that's it.
Cool.